We welcome you to ExtraView, the very first event in this series. ExtraView panel series is where experts from the industry are coming together to talk on areas which are shaping our lives using technology. Since this will be an ongoing event, we will be covering a host of topics in the coming months. Let me also add, these events will just not be online but in person too, when the COVID protocols are lifted and when we are safe to conduct them. Our topic for today is work from home or learn from home, the changed paradigm. Now, we've all borne the brunts of the pandemic in some way or another. Work got affected and the paradigms of learning also evolved and are continually getting changed. How will it evolve? How will it affect us? How do we need to change are things that will be spoken of today. ExtraView is powered by Archon Tech Solutions, a leading cybersecurity solutions company with global presence, and MGM College of Engineering is our academic partner for this event. Our panelists today are well-known professionals from the industry. Let's get to know them a little better. Lalit Popli is an experienced business professional having over 2 decades of experience in various senior level positions in banking, asset management, engineering, and technology companies. He has worked in various roles in areas like business head, business consulting, business development, sales, CTO, CIO, CISO, head of digital, operations, and customer service. He has worked with customers in diverse marketplaces covering United States, Southeast Asia, Europe, Australia, Africa, Middle East, CIS, Russia, and India. He is an author, career coach, financial advisor, guest faculty, angel investor, and guest speaker in various school, colleges, and industry forums and conferences across the globe. At Archon, Lalit is the Chief Operating Officer. He brings his vast experience and skills to enable Archon to have a world-class delivery and service model encapsulating right product, sales and marketing strategies, implementation and support methodologies added with training and consulting to deliver strategic value to the client. Professor Sanjay Jadhav, an academic professional who comes with over 15 years experience in the education sector. He has worked with premier colleges like Bharati Vidyapeeth, Saraswati Education Society, Indira College of Engineering, and is currently the Training and Placement Officer at MGM College of Engineering. Apart from this, he is also the Secretary of Maharashtra Training and Placement Officers Association. Interestingly, he is a top influencer and drives large-scale job fairs across India. He has also won numerous awards and accolades from top regulatory institutions in India. Vikas Kedia is the CEO of MobiTrail for the last 15 years. Started in 2016, MobiTrail has emerged as a reputed and respected name in the field of mobility-driven business solutions. The company has grown by leaps and bounds in all these years through constant innovation in services and products developed in the areas of lending, financial business management, collections and recovery, tools for mutual funds industry, corporate compliance, and many more. Artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies are core ingredients in the work they do. Vikas is also an author and his articles are published in Business Week, Educare, and Rediff. Vishal Samant, a results-driven professional with over 17 years work experience in project management, IT operations, solution architect, database administration, and development, majorly in mutual funds and portfolio management services products. With a keen eye for detail, he has designed and implemented complex and innovative solutions for businesses, which has seen tremendous increase in productivity and cost efficiency. He is a specialist in conceptualizing, developing, and implementing solutions to aligning and closely working with stakeholders. He is also an excellent mentor. With over 12 years of experience across various aspects of marketing, Priya Shetty brings her expert domain knowledge in areas of digital media marketing, mobile marketing, offline marketing, event management, brand building, and much more. She has worked with some prestigious brands and market leaders. Few of her achievements include Young MV of the Year, Bronze Award for the Young Achiever in the field of mobile and digital marketing. She is also the recipient of Black Dragon at the International Dragons of Asia in the field of digital marketing. Recognized as one of the top 30 digital planners in India by Impact Magazine. Currently, she is managing marketing initiatives at Arcon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all our panelists for our session today on Work from Home and Learn from Home, the changed paradigm. Well, that's a wonderful lineup of the people we have today, and I can't wait to see this get started. Over to you, Lalit, who's also moderating the session and is also, like we saw, the COO of our Context Solutions.
Thank you, Roshan, and thank you to all the panelists. So, except for Dr. Sanjay, who's a very senior professional with us, others are friends more than our colleagues. But thank you, anyone, for giving your time. I think it will be a very interesting session, and I'm really excited to get moderating it. Okay, so with that housekeeping kind of thing, I think we can start. So my first question is to Dr. Sanjay Jadhav. Dr. Sanjay Jadhav, it's a very important question, and everyone keeps asking: is learn from home, since you are part of the college, is here to stay? What are your views on it, sir?
It is quite difficult because it's having a mixed era of education. So we can say we can divide it into the technological part and non-technological part. For technological part, it is very difficult to learn online until and unless practical is there. Or for the arts, commerce, or those are the theoretical subjects, it can be converted into online. So for the future, if you want any practical knowledge and what live lectures, it should be offline, and for the theory and what we can say for the book knowledge, or just you want to go with the theoretical part, we should go on. So it should be mixed model in future, so that it will save the time also, it will also utilize the resources, and it will support the new technologies also.
Fantastic. So you're on the fence, in a sense. You're saying more hybrid models will emerge, yes, where theoretical will be more on the online mode, and the practical will become physical mode.
It is advantageous for theoretical that we can use the PPT representation and that live video lectures and all those things. These are the easy thing rather than, and sorry, it covers wide range of topics and live experience of the topic rather than the blackboard. So that is more effective while theoretical. But while the practical, it is very, very less effective.
Thank you. Vishal, what is your take on work from home? I mean, Dr. Sanjay comes with learn, so you come with work.
Okay, wow. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. And thanks, Arcon and MGM College, for arranging this wonderful session. Okay, so work from home, work from learn. So if you see the surveys which has happened in the market when this pandemic hits, a lot of organization has to shift suddenly to work from home. A lot of people, it was first time work from home experience. Many organization have it is not in their DNA to work from home. But if you ask me, in that if you read out those research paper, the striking point is that 9 out of 10 wants to be continue work from home. The only modification, as I said, as you also mentioned, is a hybrid mode, whereby because the new variants are coming, new challenges are coming, then organization are going on and off mode, whereby they're calling selectively people's in office, and then they are ensuring the work wherever the physical presence is required. Those employees can come to the office, and remaining can continue to be work from home. Digital innovation which happens in the last 2 years, the leap which has been taken in the entire digital innovation, which makes a lot of functions life more smoother. So I feel that work from home is going to be stay here with the different moods and different mix and match. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my take.
Yeah, it's a fair take. I think still the clarity has to emerge as we go along. But Priya, coming to you, you have a distinct two hats, and a professional hat and a personal hat as well. You have a 10-year-old kid. Now imagine he is going to be learning from home a majority of time, and if you are going to work from home, how does that match?
Firstly, good afternoon to all, and it's a pleasure to be part of this esteemed panel. Coming back to your question, Lalit, yes, seeing the way the pandemic crippled our learning system, I think learn from home is here to stay. Like you rightly mentioned, I have a kid at home. Significant time of his school life is, have gone online schooling. And we together have faced a lot of challenges from learning, concentrating, interacting over a learning system. So it was like me learning the system first and then teaching him how to, adapt to the system. So it has been a struggle for both of us. But thankfully, with a lot of support of the educationists, of the teaching society, we have made this process a little simpler now. I think the kids also got an opportunity to understand technology better. And I think my son understands more of it than I do. He teaches me a lot of new things. But it's interesting how, how this new generation has adapted to technology. And I think somewhere we have made peace with it and adapted to this way of working.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just take now Vikas you to the beginning when first lockdown was announced.
Right.
How prepared were you when the lockdown happened and said, okay, now there's no choice. Lockdown has been declared. People can't come to office, but
Right.
work has to go on. So how prepared were you?
So ideally, if you see, as in the first lockdown was a complete surprise, right? As in it was mainly the fact that we weren't having much time to react. So we essentially, when this happened, it was we need to take care that everybody is getting those PC. And since I come from a technology background, the enterprise is technology. It was still, we were still in the mode of getting VPNs in place, getting those right firewalls in place, and even getting those laptops or PCs to be made available for every employee, so that one he is safe and he's able to travel back to his place and work from home. Of course, thankfully for us, since we come from a technology industry, that we were able to operate based on the demand which was clearly coming from the customers, and we were very thankful that the customers also understood that these are the times when deliveries can still be managed, and we had that comfort of taking those deliveries at a in a more instead of an agile way, in a more comfort way. So ideally, this was a surprise. But having said that, we were very anxious about those moments and those initial sleepless nights, so that that entire work from home, because it wasn't a culture for any of us, right? So ideally, it became more of a culture, with time, with time, and we started, with regular calls, which were Teams calls or maybe Zoom calls, and we were able to manage it. But it was certainly a big surprise for us to completely plan a work from home.
Okay, thank you. Because Vishal, I'll come back to you once again, because you are part of a very strong regulatory oversight industry, where everything that you do, there is a compliance angle and a regulation angle behind it. Now, obviously, lockdown, not used to it, a lot of data which is very needs to be protected. How did you take the first steps from first lockdown to where we are now? I mean, it must have been an exciting and an experience full of journey. But take us through the first lockdown phase when suddenly you're caught on the wrong foot. Everyone got caught on the wrong foot.
Correct.
And then how did you come up, and where are we now?
Okay. So according to me, it is more than a mindset shift rather than a technology. Technology was always there, but mindset to fully leverage on technology was never there in terms of businesses. What I mean to say that every organization, financial institute, they have a basic technology like VPN and all that. So, but in terms of mindset shift, to entirely all departments, whether all departments can work from home. So that shift and that getting that trust from a business. So from a technology standpoint, we have to play a crucial role, not only to get the trust of stakeholders from inside, but as well as from outside. Okay, and last 2-3 years was in terms of progression, it was very fast paced, because digital innovation tools like collaboration tools, like implementation of those tools in a shorter span of time was a very challenge. People are adopting to this technology. People were never heard of Zoom before that, and suddenly the applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meets was even my kid is now using Microsoft Teams for his education. So this becomes a household name, so that shift was happened gradually, and now people are so comfortable. So now you cannot imagine a school without Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Google Meet. So if you see, gradually the people are started with a bit on a scary note, or kaisa hoga, how it happen, how the things will move, whether my work will happen or not, whether I will get the bandwidth or not, how the application will work. But the once, as I said, right, the technology infrastructure was always there. Once that mindset shift was happen and people was get accommodative to that work from home culture, then it's now it's a part of your DNA. Now you can, as there are some pros and cons, but there are a lot of pros in terms of this work from home. And then people are now, after 2 years, people are quite adjusted to the work from home, and they found it reliable. Business are able to achieve their business goals. Now organizations are thriving with this digital growth. So this pandemic, there are a darker side, but I can see a positive side of this pandemic also.
Fantastic. So you mentioned pros and cons. We will come subsequently in our discussion on that. But Dr. Sanjay, organizations and a tech company, which we shall speak, they had some infrastructure, some readiness. Maybe the will to actually do 100% from home was forced down because of lockdown. But college, I mean, they were not working from home in any way. And then suddenly, you had this 180-degree shift. Like everyone, attendance 75%, otherwise 80 KTs and all, from that rule to suddenly now saying, okay, you are at home and still the education must go on. How prepared were you during the early phase of lockdown, and what did you or the organization or the college did during that time to bring it where we are today?
Obviously, sir, there were several challenges after lockdown faced by everyone college. But thanks to MGM College of Engineering, they have adopted the new technology and knew these things easily, and they have given the lot of facilities to the faculties, providing them the internet facility in the college itself, designing the smart classrooms and all those things. But it was very difficult for all the colleges to adopt this. But till that terms are there, 75% attendance and all these things. Till we have to maintain it online also. That is also there. But as per the technology, many students complaining about the network issue. They are not connecting, disconnecting. Even though in the examination, many students not able to join on video call, and they have told, sir, we don't have a network. We are staying in rural area. We are don't have electricity now. So accordingly, university has given instruction, and we have adjusted that you can submit after 1 hour of the examination also. So we have considered everybody because always decision is always in favor of students. So that's that work culture is going on. Still, many colleges are trying to build smart classrooms now, smart audio video systems. They are building their internal intranet work in the college and giving the better facilities for the online education.
So thank you. I can really understand from what you're saying about the challenges the college went through, the student went through, the faculty went through. I think it was a big change from a learning perspective, and especially at a senior, bigger college where the students are at a higher class. Maybe some juniors are still okay, but amazing. So that's a fantastic effort by MGM College. I think we should give a virtual round of applause to you and the college, definitely. And Roshan, what about you? You've been a silent listener. How did it impact your business? Because this is how it is.
Well, it did impact a lot of our a lot for our business, because we do a lot of work for educational institutions and corporates. So with regards to educational institutions, we do a lot of content development in terms of pre-recorded video lectures. The first challenge that we had, that people weren't ready to come out of their houses to come to the studio to do the shoots and everything. So that set us back quite a bit. And plus, a lot of our faculties and professors, they were above 50, and some of them even senior citizens. So the business did get impacted. It did get a lot of impact, but eventually I think late in the year, things started picking up again. But and given now, things are better off than what it was before. We did face challenges. We had to get systems across, like Vikas mentioned. Getting systems across to our staff was a big pain, but somehow we managed, got it across, got the permissions and everything. So that's how it went for us. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So Priya, Vishal touched upon pros and cons of work from home, learn from home. Why don't you give us 2-3 pros of work from home and why, or learn from home, whichever way you prefer.
Work from home also had a very good pro side, with additional time to upgrade one's knowledge. I think we all the time that we saved on traveling, we used it to upskill ourselves. We also found opportunity to maintain better work-life balance. In being a mother, I got time to spend with my kid, at the same time manage my work, also look after the household chores. So since I was at home, I had a hands-on thing on all the 3 activities. So I think work-life balance was a big this thing. Also, additionally, it helped me and a lot of my colleagues to become more technologically advanced. There are a lot of things that are available, but we don't use them because we don't need them at that point in time. But this situation made us understand that how technology was important. And by technology, I mean not any technology. Having a secure technology is also of utmost important.
Thank you. And same question, Dr. Jadhav. I'll ask you to just add a couple more points on the pros of learn from home.
Yeah, there are several pros. As earlier I have told you, we can connect to the world. That is the biggest advantage of this online education. Because I can tell you a couple of examples. When pandemic started, and as a Maharashtra Training Placement Officer Association, we were just thinking, what do we have to do, and what do we have to tackle with this situation, and how we can go with the people. So we have suddenly Zoom come into picture, all of and we have started our webinars, and we have called the peoples literally from Germany. Also the HR from one of the biggest company has participant of our webinar. GE Electronics VP was also there on the panelist. Our AICT chairman also was there. DTA chairman also was there. So many big brand peoples, we brought them on the platform. That is the
Common
biggest
platform.
advantage of this situation. And also for the learning of the students, we are able to include that video, audio, interactive learning methods. This is we can pro advanced learning, we can say. and because of that, it is very easy to understand students these concepts and all those things, and that is the biggest advantage of this. But while disadvantages, I as earlier told you that about the practical knowledge, and always we are as a Indian, and we are as a natural human being, we are always having a nature that take the advantage of the system, like that happen also in the whenever examination is there.
We will come to that question. I mean, I have kept it parked and I will ask you that.
Yes, yes.
But I'll
That
move to
was the biggest
Vishal.
disadvantage.
I know.
Yes.
I'll move to Vishal and Vikas. Actually, Vishal first and then Vikas, and put them in the box by asking them to say what are the cons. It's not a very popular thing, therefore I still ask them. But what do you think is the cons from work from home?
So I think maintaining the work-life balance was quite challenging, for some people, because one is you have to do a lot of coordination. So while in office you have everybody around and it becomes very easy for you to coordinate, but when it is work from home, it is more in terms of coordination, and even getting those issues resolved sometimes it becomes slightly difficult. There could be sometimes miscommunication, sometimes misunderstanding between colleagues. But overall, overall, it would, to some extent, it would impact the productivity. Plus, there is always when people meet physically, they have a different equation. They have a different emotional attachment, and the way it works is much better as compared to work from home. But I think the pros are more as compared to the cons. So I think other than the emotional connect, and some miscommunication or an additional way to coordinate, and but again, what I feel, Lalit, it also depends upon industry to industry. So while an IT industry can still work more efficiently in a work from home environment, so an IT security company or an IT ES company, can still work. But there are a lot of companies where who are into manufacturing. There, I think the hurdles are more than what's there in case of So I think it depends on the type of company as well.
Okay. Yeah, Vishal, you're very clear now. And
Yeah.
please take over some cons.
Okay, so I can highlight two cons. One is a personal touch, right? So when you have in a work from home environment, it is if you have a large team, then it is very difficult to reach out each and every person on a day-to-day basis. We do take extra care in this trying times to reach out to people, have a word, team member, because this is where your softer aspect as a manager comes into a picture. And when you are in office, everyone in front of your eyes, you do talk, and it is not definitely work. Sometimes you talk on a related topics also. So that personal touch in a work from home environment is a bit missing. And the second aspect was the extensive working hours. Now as you have access of system, then you a bit at the time of late in the evening also you thought of you have this work pending, let's finish it off. So the access to the systems, so the working hours also got been extended. That is what I feel. So if you are a person where you can manage your time well, then work from home is blessing. But if you're not able to manage your time well, then it can turn into a con as well.
Okay, very interesting insight, Vishal. I think, yeah, it's complicated. While Priya feels it gave her a good balance, work-life balance, which Vikas feels no, actually it disturbed, and Vishal kind of added to that by yes, if you are able to manage. So I don't know if Priya can manage better than Vikas, but definitely it looks like that way from what Vishal said. So I'll just take this forward a little bit. Sanjay sir, this is for you. Uh, you mentioned that maybe we do take advantage of the scenarios. Now, if that is true, and I'm sure that is true, a lot of us are nodding also, and I'm waiting for some students to ask that question. Uh, how do you think we should measure the effectiveness of really people are putting in the hard work in learn from home or not?
Yeah. the situation for difficult for them also in this situation. Because they have also their own problems, and also you have seen that everybody need to shift from their uh, college location or where they are working to their native place also, because of that the maybe it was a rural it is rural area or it may be a village, and where they may not get these facilities. Their problem may be genuine, but in some cases also they have got the advantage that this so chalta hai attitude also matters. But one thing is that we have to consider the both, and we have to go with this to problem solving nature, we can say. So what are the problems they are facing, and accordingly the infrastructure is going up to the mark or not, where they are staying, that infrastructure in that environment infrastructure is good or not. This thing matters in all the situations.
But just to take that point further, Sanjay ji, this situation is then, are you going to actually look at 200 students, 300 students that you look, each one's individual problems and grade the person accordingly, give the benefits or remove the benefits? I mean, it sounds very manual, little ad hoc. Yes, of course, it's student friendly, but then doesn't it lead to extra work at the faculty level and the chance of again misusing by a lot of people?
Yes, definitely. It was very difficult for the faculty members to handle 150 200 crowd online at a time. Also it is very difficult whenever we are teaching and all other students cameras are off. It seems that we are teaching we are talking with the blank screen or in front of the black wall, like that, and that expressions, and whenever we are the teaching means conveying your message or conveying your knowledge to the student, or we can prove that whatever theorem is there, and if we see the student faces, and if we can really realize that student understand everything, student have got the knowledge of this, I have what I have taught, and he is satisfied. That is really missing.
Okay, I mean, I can understand the efforts which the teacher would have put there. It's amazing, Vishal. But in corporate, we start looking at productivity. And how did you measure productivity when people were working from home? It's as it is a very complex topic, even when they are in office.
Correct.
Imagine now you're going to evaluate them when they're at home.
So there are two ways to do it. It's again depend upon every organization DNA how they wanted to measure a productivity. Okay, if you wanted to take a help of technology that is available, you can measure all the aspects, how much time person is using screen, which application is using, and all that. So that technology aspect is always available with all this latest cutting edge solution which is available in the market. Second aspect, if you ask me my personal opinion and personal view, for every project or every goal of any organization department or goal, it is quite evident once you achieve that particular objectives, whether it is work from home or working from office, so that is visible. So once that is achieved, then that is a clear cut measuring factor. Yes, the what is your given KRA KPI has been achieved. So as long as that has been achieved, so no need of extra monitoring is required. That is what I feel.
Oh, it's a very touchy subject, I can understand. But because again, you have a situation where lot of some of your employees work from the client side. Now, how do you ensure that people who are working at the client side, especially some of them would be in important sectors like banks and financial institutions, so many a times even getting them access as a vendor is difficult. So how did you organize all that?
So Lalit, essentially, see, a lot of these. So there are two ways to the overall business. When this COVID hit, right? So one is an employee management, and second is a client management. So again, both play a very important role. So when you see client management, essentially all the customers were very flexible during this period, and they were very supportive. Like again, Vishal comes from that background of being a customer, right? So essentially, all these customers and their IT teams were very flexible in providing those accesses. However, there is one level of security. So while they have maintained the security while giving an access to us, we have also ensured that the systems are well protected in terms of data leakages, and the confidentiality of the data is maintained within the system itself. So as Vishal rightly said, currently you have a lot of tools which are available on your systems, which could allow you to harden those systems, and which could also allow you to access data from a remote location. So why, if a person is sitting in, so geographies were not a was not a challenge, and whether you're working from an office. In fact, just to give you an example, like the business continuity plan became completely from home itself, right? So you don't need a BCP, right? So essentially, because everybody is operating from their own home, from their own machines.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, delving a bit deeper, especially on the security front, the cyber security front, how did you protect not only your assets but even the client's assets? Because some of your team members are working at the client data points and elements. How did you protect them?
So, see, ideally, if you ask me security, so there are three things when it comes to security. So, one is a confidentiality, second is an integrity, and third is an availability. So, if you have all the three things, and of course, this has to happen both on the client side as well as for us on the vendor side, and with essentially with the secure configuration of your systems, having firewalls, having data encryption, having sensitive data encryption, having proper implementation of access controls across various systems, and of course, there has to be an update on your software, update on your antiviruses. There has to be regular backup of data. I think with all these coming together, we were able to manage this pretty well.
Oh, very good. So you're saying the whole environment, the ecosystem kind of came together as well. Everyone tried to bring everything together, and you kind of played to everyone's strength and made a super strength out of your offering.
Right, Lalit.
So that's good. So, Vishal, just an extension of what Vikas mentioned. What are the trends you are seeing on the cyber security side, especially now that we are seeing work from home or a hybrid model will be the call of the day going forward?
Lalit, as you are also aware, the cyber security front, India has witnessed the major attacks in terms of cyber attacks. Okay, a lot of big organization, a lot of big OEMs has discovered a lot of vulnerabilities in their products. As I said, when we started this conversation, we touched upon this collaboration tool, trust aspect of this on this collaboration tools. If you remember, it starts when people are quite hesitant, to use application like Zoom with the platform which we are connected. Their founder also acknowledged that, and they have fixed up, and they come up with a solid, robust product. To similar manner, in our organization also it's a continuous journey, and because of this work from home, because of this new age cyber attacks, for the CISO, the job has been increased in a multiple times, in a multiple. So you have not only you have to have a mixture of a traditional security platforms, but along with that you have to implement the platforms like whereby you can have a protection from a zero-day attack and all that. For your question, it's a business call whether to continue into these modes and other aspects, but from a technology and from a cyber security aspects, we have to be well equipped ourselves, to protect the confidential data, protect the systems. So that is going to be an ongoing aspect, and this is going to be a big market going forward.
Okay, thank you, Vishal. I think I wouldn't disagree with you in a big way. I think I fully agree with you. It's a very tough point, difficult, and as well as would be very rewarding to a lot of people in coming time. Sanjay ji, coming to you now. See, in the corporate, there is a structure, there are infosec rules, and so on and so forth. You have leapfrogged lot of it because post lockdown, you have to reach to students. You bought the technology very fast, reached out, smart schools, smart classes, and whatnot. But was cyber security kept aside, and how did you incorporate security aspects in all of this?
Yeah, security aspects are also major factor. Uh, Either it is industry, or either it is education, tech education, or education industry. Because when we are going online lectures and all those things, because data is very important, and the person joining, anonymous person is there is always fear to join, that anonymous person will join and disturb the whole class. There was several incident happen that the students have joined and they have started accidentally screen, and they have started with some films and all those things. So this is also very important, and that was the quite disturbing for teachers. Many students started drawing on the screen in between the
Okay.
lectures. Yeah, that is also one of the big matter. Then after that, whenever you are providing any online question papers while in the examination, that is also having a security matter, and it matters a lot, because there is always fear to that paper will be leaked or not. And if it is so happen, then the whole exam system will collapse, and it is not worth that we are giving the marks is right or wrong.
True. So it's
So,
quite interesting.
there is huge
So,
demand while examination, while assessing the students, and while taking the lecture also.
and Priya, I'm giving you a scenario. BMC is allowed the schools to open, and then tomorrow the school starts. Your son is ready. Are you and your son mentally prepared now to shift the model and go back to school? There was this movie called Back to Future, Back to School, Back to College kind of thing. Are you prepared?
Funny situation. I and my son did have a discussion over it. While we both think that this, learn from home model works for us, having said that, I wouldn't want my kid to miss out on human touch. Making friends, interacting with teachers. These are the memories I cherished as a kid. So I think this is what they are missing out on. And if tomorrow the situation comes and it is all safe and secure from my kid's point of view, I would definitely want him to attend school. And my son, I think even he would be interesting to go back, meet friends, talk to people. I think human touch is something that we being human beings we should not miss out on. So yeah, I think we'll be looking forward to it if it happens.
I don't know. While you are mentioning this, sometimes when we speak to parents, we also hear that now even the kids don't want to go to school. For them, this is the school. I mean, or they. I'm sure Sanjay ji will agree that they are going to carry their mobile into school, especially the younger kids, and they're going to watch YouTube there because that's what they are doing. Do you think that trend will continue? I mean, is it really that difficult to imagine that this really is happening?
Actually, it is scary for me as a parent, because I know before the lockdown, when I used to ask my son, what do you want to become when you grow up? He used to say, I wanted to become an astronaut. And after this lockdown situation, he tells me, I want to be a YouTuber. So it is a scary situation. So, there has been, now he talks to me about subscribers. This channel has so many subscribers. So as a parent, I really want him to go. As far as he is concerned, I think, yeah, they would enjoy, continuing watching their TV and mobile. And I'll give you a very funny situation. So my son loves all his lectures. He loves it, online education, but music class is something that he doesn't like at all. So what he does during music classes, he'll put it on mute and he'll act as if he's singing. So all this gimmick also happens in the background.
Excellent, excellent. I think we have touched upon a lot of topics. we've touched upon the pros and cons, whether this is going to continue. And I think all of us agree that this is more of an hybrid model that will emerge till full clarity comes out, whether, and now that we are used to, especially the younger generation, on the online mode, it would be very difficult to get away from it. So what I can do right now is put the whole thing in for participants to ask questions. So Vishal, I'm getting an offline question. I don't know on my messaging board. Is really in office environment, professional environment, is cybersecurity so important?
Absolutely. Your comes in the sense office, whether yes, so cybersecurity is not only important to the organization, but nowadays it's very important to the individual as such. Because there are a lot of scams on happening. A lot of malwares are getting installed on your mobile. So really speaking, more than cybersecurity, there should be a cyber awareness. Once there is an awareness, then automatically the security piece will comes to that. So whether it is school, college, or organization or individual, has to be vigilant enough to get cyber aware. There are a lot of contents is available, and then people should read out. They should not say that, okay, I'm not using this application. You are connected to the internet means you are exposed to the cyber attack. Is as simple as that. So how it is. So this, yeah.
Interesting. We've got an actual question on the chat from Shushant. Shushant is asking, and this I'll go to Vikas, because Vikas used to also run a gaming company, so he would be more into it. So, Vikas, the question is, how do you see the future of virtual reality, like Meta have introduced their metaverse?
Right. So certainly, as in you see Facebook rename themselves as Meta, right? And essentially, what is happening right now? So you have, so you have augmented reality, and it's basically interface of a physical world with a virtual world. So ideally, I do see a lot of value. I don't come from the metaverse kind of a technology background, because currently we are more focused on digital lending, we are more focused on blockchain technology. So I would have little information, but certainly what I understand from augmented reality and physical reality, it is basically a bridge between both of them. So I personally see the kind of and people are actually playing games, and it's they are conversing during those games, and essentially they are also doing payments. And currently, if you see some of these applications, they are blockchain enabled, crypto gaming coins are getting you are being rewarded with that. So I see, and that's going to be certainly the future, because these are engagement tools, and essentially a lot of even companies are trying to get into the metaverse to in terms of their customer experiences.
Okay, I think Priya, there's a question for you. The question is that as a parent, how do you manage to maintain the concentration level of your child?
I think the first 2-3 months were absolutely difficult. Just to make them understand the platform took us a lot of time, but it was a collaborative effort from teachers, students and parents, where they made the teaching a little more, fun. So there was a lot of videos were added, while teaching. It was not only one person just talking about a particular topic. They introduced videos, audios. They made it a little more interactive. I think the credit goes to a lot extent to the teachers as well. I think they help to grab the kids' attention to a great extent.
Okay. Vishal, you would want to take the question on the Web3. So the question is, what are your views on Web3?
So the way metaverse and Web3, these are going to a big, evolutionary leap forward. What internet brings to us. As we all know, these are basically a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality when we talk about. Similarly, fashion, when we talk about Web3 as application per se, so it can give, it can summarize a large amount of information, knowledge. So there is a certain advantage when it comes to a Web3 or a metaverse. So that gets unfold, as a future.
Okay. Because Web3 is primarily based also on the blockchain technology. Because what is your view on Web3?
So essentially, what we see with cryptocurrency exchanges, as the entire cryptocurrency is actually based on the blockchain technology. So Web3 is basically, where you have blockchain and on blockchain you would have multiple applications. So cryptocurrency is one of those applications. So you see a lot of exchanges coming into country again with some regulation. There is there is still a time to to get the regulation completely in place, where a lot of large banks or NBFCs will, or maybe wealth companies would start taking it as a as a platform to do transaction. However, Web3, since it's on a so ideally, when I say talk about Web3, I also talk about blockchain technology. So blockchain, yeah. So blockchain is certainly a lot of, it's a decentralized technology. So it brings a lot of value when it comes to when it comes to transactions, or when it comes to information available on those blocks, and these are verified information. So nobody can actually temper those information. Yeah.
Okay. So Priya, last question to you before I give it to Roshan for thank you and take it forward, is that you have done some case studies, I know, on corporates using user behavior analytic tool of Archon. What are your learnings from that case study that you have done with couple of organizations?
I think, like I rightly mentioned some time back, that security, secure technology is what is important, and not only technology for smooth functioning of work and learn from home. And luckily, I work for a company which is into risk solution softwares. So products like UBA, which help us to identify malicious intruders at real time, and ensure that all these the doors that are open, because finally there's one single system that is a lot of individual systems connected to one single main system via cloud. So it also opens doors to a lot of malicious intruders. Products like UBA did help a lot of companies to identify these real-time malicious activities and curb it at the right moment. So I think luckily for us, we have got amazing feedback from all our clients that have been using UBA, that this was a blessing in disguise, because they had adapted to this technology even before this situation, the lockdown situation, arose.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I would really like to thank Vikas, Vishal, Sanjay sir, and Priya for being a wonderful, wonderful panelist and sharing it very nicely. Roshan, you also, I got you in as a panelist for one or two questions. But yes, thank you for being there. And yes, over to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for sparing time for this session. I'm sure, and I'm hoping the students got to learn from this session and from the views that you guys shared. All of you all in your own ways, different industries, education, a working mother, an entrepreneur, everyone. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.